All right, it's your girl Nita K. Yet again, the N, the I, the T, the A, the space K, with an exclusive interview this evening. Woo, man, it is hot as hell here in Chicago. I don't know where it is. I don't know where you are. I don't know if it's hot where you are, but man, I hope y'all stay hydrated. Get you some water, stay cool in this hot weather. But other than that, let's get into some things. I do want to say before we get started, we did just finish our soundtrack for House of Tea. So make sure you guys tune in to that on our YouTube page. It's also posted on our Instagram page as well. We also have a double feature premiere this year in October. We're trying to shoot for Halloween to do a double feature with the showing of House of Tea and our first short film, Perpendicular Hotel. It'll be a blast. It's going to be a dope party. We got people that has RSVP'd. So I hope you guys tune in. Now, we got this special exclusive interview with this special guest. And this came all about with us networking in LA at the BET casting call for the BET experience. I want to introduce the world to this wonderful person, this gentleman that I've met. Thank you for coming on our podcast today. And just tell the world, just introduce yourself and let them know who you are.
Hello, world. My name is Ahku, AHKU. I am an actor, producer. I used to be in the music business. I used to be a musician or artist, rapper, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Tapped into stand-up comedy for a minute, so, man of many hats. What's up, y'all?
Man, I mean, in this world, not even just this industry, in this world, you got to have so many hats to stay afloat. You can't just tap into one thing. And once you tap into one thing, other things start coming about. I do want to take the time to dive in at the beginning of your journey so that I can get to know, and everyone that's listening can get to know, like, how did you start? Like, where are you from? How did you start your career? Just to get a little bit of details about yourself.
You want the short or long version? How much time we got?
Well, this podcast is for an hour, so go ahead, shoot.
All right. Well, I'll try to make it interesting. I was born in a city called Richmond, California. Place where some of you may have depending on your age, but with Master P was one that made my city famous. He moved from New Orleans to Richmond, California. And then I grew up in several different other cities inside the Bay Area. One that kind of stands out is a city called San Quentin, which is the prison, San Quentin State Prison, where my step-pops worked as a lieutenant. So me and my sister and my mom, we lived on the grounds of the prison, which was pretty interesting. Then I lived in Vallejo, California, the home of E40. For those who don't know, E40 is a rapper from the Bay Area, staple in the Bay. And I kind of moved around a little bit. And then as far as music, so my stepdad, he was a original drummer for a group called Confunction, and before he entered into law enforcement. So I had music around me and my family all my life. Played the drums since I was 6. Just love music. My mother played music at parties. So, it's kind of the same. You hear that same thing, when you grew up around music. Then I went into the breakdancing phase. Then I started DJing, wanting to be like my cousin Randy. He was a DJ, and then he gave me all his old equipment. So I used to DJ house parties at the age of like 9, 10, no cap. And I'm aging myself. And then it eventually, moved into music. And I used to love Michael Jackson. I used to try to do the Michael Jackson. It had a jacket, curl. You feel me? Yeah. I had the whole get down. And then hip hop came about, with Curtis and for the old heads, way back in the day. And I just took a love into hip hop. It was like after hearing, a lot of R&B, new wave music, when rap came along, it was something that just spoke to me. And I wrote my first rap at like 9 years old, and I just fell in love with it. And I went into the music business, met and worked with a lot of big wigs and a lot of legends. But
Yeah.
somehow I just believe that God kept me away from the music business because there was a lot of deals on the table and a lot that just fell through. But after you see how this music business is, it was a blessing.
Yeah.
Then it transitioned into acting. I had been acting and doing skits on camera, like a lot of people doing, content on TikTok and things of that nature. I'd been doing it from back in the day. I had my mama's camera and was
Yeah.
just having my family and friends do little skits with me. And I had BET interested in my video because they had a show called How We Do It, hosted by Ricky Smiley. And it was supposed to be like a black version of America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah.
And so they loved my content and what I did, where I did parodies of other people in the industry like Tupac, Prince, E40, Mike Tyson at that time. But the only reason why they didn't release it was because we were using original music. The people who we were imitating, we were using their music and they couldn't clear it.
Okay.
So that fell through, which was heartbreaking, but it did something for me though. It told me that, oh man, some people are interested in what you're doing. That's on that level. And so that was at the age of like 21. You feel me? So from there, I just started pursuing acting, went to acting classes, and then the rest is history.
Man, the fact that you summed that up in a nutshell, it sounds like you had a great journey with what you started with up until today. Like being able to be in that times, like I'm an 80s baby. So I know about Curtis Blow, Slick Rick, he just came back out of 20 something years.
Right.
I know about all of those people, and it's just great to hear that you had that type of experience. And even with Michael Jackson, I've had a almost close encounter. Maybe as a child, my Uncle Derek, he was in the Wiz. God rest. So yeah, he was in the Wiz, and he was one of the crows in the Wiz. So he was able to be in proximity of Michael Jackson. Yes. Yeah. So that I mean, I love telling people that because I'm just such an awe of being that close. So I have a few people who I would have loved to work with as well. But listening to what you've done, it's nothing compared to what I've done. Like even now. So just digging back into some of the things that you said. So when you started doing music and writing your own music, do you still write music?
I do. It's funny you say that. I had somebody on another podcast that posted where they said that why are certain rappers still rapping? Like, put the mic down. And I commented, which I got a lot of positive feedback was, I said, if you're a true poet, a poet should never stop writing.
Exactly.
Because it's in you. Now, there's those who want to rap because that was the thing to do and they felt. But when you got a calling and doing something, it was my calling. And so I didn't care. It wasn't no being famous and rich. You just love rapping. You just love hip hop. It wasn't about the dollars and the women. It was about just being out there, bravado, showing how dope you were, your skills and everything like that. And I just fell in love with that whole culture. And then it turned into something else. So yeah, I come from a real place with this here. So yeah, I still write, to answer your question. I may not perform or record, but I still write.
It's still, look, like you said, even if you like you said, like me, I have this passion. I don't get paid for doing these things. It's just the thing that I love to do. So when you have that passion, love to do it, you don't put a dollar amount on it. And that's the issues that I kind of see here in Chicago. And I'm trying to teach some of the creators here. They always want to know, what am I going to get paid for it? Of course you want to be compensated along the way, of course. But if it's something that you're passionate about doing, that's not the first thing you would ask. You would just do it because that's what's in your heart. Now, when I met you at the BET Experience, were you there? Did you audition as well?
No, I was there for my show on set with Ahku Unscripted. So originally, my show was called The Pivot. This was back in 2020. So there was a show called I Am Athlete with a few athletes that were on the show. Without going into long stories, things didn't work out between that show. And so some of the guys on the show started a show called The Pivot. And I was floored because I'm like, I used to play basketball in high school, and I was my job as a center was to always practice on pivoting. And so I used that concept from acting because it slowed down with acting with COVID and all that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
pivot. God just gave it to me. It was like pivot. And so my pivot was, okay, start interviewing people you know in your industry and let them tell their stories. Because as I told you, from when I was a kid, BET picked up the show. So mind you, the show that BET liked that I did when I was young, it was me interviewing people as if they were the real characters. You feel me? So like I was interviewing Prince and all these people. So and I used to be in radio broadcasting. So my thing was, I was in with people are saying, you know, all podcasting and all that. I was doing that at 21 in 1994.
Okay.
You did, and recording it and making jokes and making skits out of it. But my point is, I just pivoted from acting to doing my show. So when you met me, that was a part of my content that I was creating for the show. Now normally we do sit downs in studio.
Okay.
But I was like, all right, pivot from that. Instead of always just doing sit downs in the studio, let's go outside and meet the people. And then we both know BET, as they say, is the culture's biggest night. And so I'm very familiar with the auditions and everything that Robert Reed does. So I was like, this is perfect. And, you know, and then here we are today meeting you, and then me being on your show.
Yes, I was just like shocked because I brung my sister, a really good close friend. Shout out to Sunshine Jamaican Blazing Chocolate. So I brung her there. It was her first time. Yes, that was her first time ever going to LA. It was her first time ever flying. So she is a music artist. She's a podcast host here, and she has a podcast on her own and stuff and whatnot. But the point making is that I help her a lot. She works with our film production company amongst other creatives. And so she was the only one that was available to come. I was telling everybody about it, but she was determined, and I brought her there. She was just so excited. So when we saw you, I was in line trying to focus, and she saw you, and I was like, what's going on? So when I saw that, and I saw everybody that we were conversating with, looked over to you, and I was just like, wait, what's going on? And I saw Kid Case. I say, yeah, he's doing something. He's doing something that's very important. So I think that this would be a great opportunity, because at first I was just going to be like, well, no, maybe let me just, I don't know what's going on, so let me just try to like fall back. But then something was like, no, go ahead, take that opportunity and say something, because it would be great. And it ended up being great because we ended up networking, and here you are here today. So and you kind of briefly interviewed me and my sister on your show when you were there. So it was
in a week or so.
Great. I cannot. We're gonna support heavy. Man, so back to your career, because I have seen that Kit Kat commercial, and so me and my guy, we were looking at it one day, and when I seen the Kit Kat commercial, I was like laughing because you guys were like vacuuming in the boys' room and just taking over. It was like, yeah, Dad, you can't really do nothing because I got yeah. So it was a funny commercial. I'm glad that they are doing something with that, and you're a part of that. But what's crazy is, once I realized who you were, and I looked, because see, I'm not the type of person to be like, because I'm around celebrities, I talk to celebrities a lot, and I talk to a lot of creators a lot, so I'm not like starstruck and stuff like that. So I kind of like, what happened? Lord. You still there? I don't know what.
Your video struck out, man. We may have to try this again.
I'm sorry. You there? Can you hear me?
You struck out. Speaking of starstruck.
Yeah. I know it went out, but that's okay, because I'm gonna edit.
That's a lot of power, man. That's a lot of power. That's a lot of
Yes. Okay, so what I was saying is that I'm not starstruck. I wasn't starstruck, but then when we did the interview with you, we did the BT thing, and then when we went back to our hotel room, I said, let me investigate to see what this gentleman is about. So I looked and I said, oh, snaps. That man, he was on a commercial. I said, that commercial was funny as hell. I said, yes. So I got excited. So I told my sister, and so she was like, what? I said, yes. He is one of the Cat brand ambassadors. So I said, yeah, we have to interview him to see his journey, because I know it's more to him being a Kit Kat brand ambassador, because he has a journey. So, because we do that over here, we interview all creatives here, there, and everywhere to see how they came to where they are now, and the struggles and the successes. So it was like really awesome that we did come to LA to network with you, because you have a lot, you have a lot to offer and bring to the table, and you already have.
Thank you.
Now the question that I have next for you, and I ask everybody this all the time. Do you think that it's hard to, because I want to see how to word this, because I tell people on this end, you have to take mental breaks when you're in this industry dealing with podcasts, filming, all this stuff. Do you think that it's hard to step away sometimes from the media, from acting, podcasts, and whatnot, to take mental health breaks for yourself?
Yeah. I mean, acting is not who I am, is what I do.
Yeah.
So there are people who, the reason why they burn out so fast, because I gotta get this, I gotta get this role, I gotta do that. And it's like people lose themselves. And you know where you'll find them? If you go to Skid Row in LA, you go on the streets with them people talking to themselves. That's some of them actors that was going a little too fast and burned out a little too fast. You feel me? So, you gotta, what it is God has me, I'm grounded. So I stay in my prayer. And the reason why I'm at today is because of God. So when you know who you are and whose you are, you ain't got to worry about, I got to get this job. It's going to come when it's supposed to come, and what's for you is for you. It's funny because I had a human moment where I had auditioned. I remember auditioned for a commercial and I didn't get it, right? But when I seen the person who got it, the person didn't look nothing like me, right? Yeah. And so I was thinking like, and I'm like, I know this, I could have got this, but they didn't choose me. So I was feeling a way about it. And then every time it popped up, and then something, again, my guy was like, what's yours is yours. And I've been told continuously that it was coming. Yeah. And then, it's every time, one of the things that I learned was every time that I was ready to just like, I'm about to just pivot about this game and move something else. I found that I was depressed if I did anything else and not that, aside of working or something, but just thinking that I'm going to go into a whole new field of a career of living my life, gardening, this is whatever. I'm like, that's not who I am. Right. And so, I was talking to my sister Rhonda about this the other day, where my sister, I have like two sisters and a niece, or a great niece and a niece, who are all artists, like can draw and paint like you never could believe. And so I'm like, I said, obviously it come from daddy's side, because, I have, sisters who have other mothers, but we have the same traits of artistry. And so I'm a firm believer in the bloodline, and what's in that bloodline is artistry. So I came into this world to be an artist. And, so it's like, that's just part of it. And, but no, to answer your question in a long-winded way, it is good to just take a step back, recalibrate, be you, do you, because here's the thing about it. When you do you, there's things that you pick up along the way that you can bring back to your artistry. Because all art is an imitation of life. Art imitates life. So when you're living your life, there's certain things you can pick up that you can use in the podcast or that you can use in acting, Yes, absolutely. So take that break. I definitely tell people a lot, like, I'm reverting back to my sis, Sunshine Jamaican Blazing Chocolate, and amongst others creatives that I talk to on a regular. I see them constantly moving here, there, everywhere. And it's great
to be in that position to be able to do those things. But sometimes I have to tell them, take a break. They see me a lot. Sometimes I may post on my pages and say, hey, I'll be taking a mental break from this day to this day. I'll be out of the office. Reach out to my brand ambassadors if you need some assistance. And they like, you take breaks frequently. And I have to explain to them, you need to take breaks frequently because, like you said, you'll drive yourself crazy. Like you said, what's for you is for you. It's gonna be there when you get back. You don't need to rush and overwhelm yourself. You're gonna crash out, and I see a lot of them doing that.
Well, my bad. No disrespect. Well, no, it's good. I was just gonna say, a lot of that comes from I gotta get it. I gotta get there. I gotta get it. Right?
Yeah.
But think about this: people who are on certain levels, they go and vacate and get up out of the country and do their thing and chill.
Yeah.
Right? Because one would say they made it. They still not working. They still have to audition. Some of them don't. But at the end of the day, they still have to take a break from acting or whatever it is that they do. That's just life. You dig what I'm saying? I just seen an article the other day, man, that broke my heart. I don't know the whole story, but it was some sister who, I guess she was working 7 days a week. And her last tweet out was, I need some rest. I'm taking 3 days off. And they say she never woke up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I just seen that the other day. It was on, one of the platforms.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, she probably stressed out and just overwhelmed. Your body will shut down. It will shut down,
man. And part of it also is, with inflation and what life is today. And then you see people who they look like they got it going on, and they pop into people trying to catch up with the Joneses and killing themselves to do it.
You ain't never lying. I'll be telling them, you know what? I really am trying to do my best here in Chicago to try to teach the creatives here. I have a handful of them that I'm showing them the ropes to let them know, like, you don't have to, you don't have to chase it. If that's your passion, that's your dream, God will put that blessing in front of you if it's for you. You don't have to do all that. They definitely be out here trying to keep up with the Joneses, going broke, not paying their rent, not paying their bills, don't have this, don't have that. Another thing that they're doing out here, and I'm going to ask you about this too, if you agree with this. I've been talking to a lot of promoters out here, and look, a lot of the music artists, they pay to perform. And I just had to have this conversation with someone a couple of weeks ago when we got back from LA. Like, hey, why are the music artists here in our hometown, and we're all trying to collaborate and network, why are they paying to perform? It doesn't make sense. And they're losing money having to pay $40 for 2 songs, or they gotta have supporters and all this stuff. You're just making the promoter rich instead of yourself. And so with that, my question to you is that, do you think that it's fair, or what is your idea about that when it comes to music artists having to pay to perform?
My honest opinion is, I don't have a problem with it. Jay-Z did it. Jay-Z came to the Bay Area, and he came to different places, and he paid.
Lord.
Phone went out again.
Lord. This today out of all days. Lord. Today out of all days. This wanna act crazy. Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Clearly.
This is just technical. This is why I'm sorry about that, but this is why when I do lives, it's just raw and uncut. And then when I edit it, it goes straight on the platform. So
Man,
apologies
I've
about
been in this thing for so long, man. I get it. Don't even trip. Don't even apologize
that.
no more. Please don't apologize no more. If you only knew.
But what would you
That's
say?
102. Yeah, girl. Don't. Please don't use sorry around me. This is fine. I'm grateful to be here.
Yes.
But no, to answer your question, I was saying I don't have a problem with it. Me personally, I think that it's what you do with it and what your intentions are. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, for instance, they had a thing in LA years ago called pay to play, is what they called it. That wasn't what it initially was, but that was a name that was given. And what it was is they had casting directors you would pay them to come and attend their classes in hopes of them getting to know you, and then we're creating a relationship and a rapport, and then getting called in for auditions. And so what happened was that became a stigma in Hollywood where they closed it down and they shut those classes down because it was like, hey, it's almost as if you're paying,
Yeah.
as you're saying. But my thing is this here. The reason why when it pertains to artists, so I was saying like Jay-Z paid,
Yeah.
he paid to perform for artists before too as well, right? So this has been going on forever. One of the
Yeah.
things is it's your intentions and what you're doing it for.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna pay that money to go perform, right, and the promoters are getting, I look at it like this. There's a saying from a certain culture where they say, "Don't be attached to the outcome," right? So what
Yeah.
that means is if you give somebody some money, right, don't be attached and expect nothing. You just
Right.
know that it's gonna come back to you.
Exactly.
In this situation, you're paying to get on stage in hopes of someone in that audience, whether it be 3 to 4 people in there, and you done paid $40, $50. If you get that 1 or 2 fans, then that $40 was well invested, because the music business isn't the music business anymore.
Yeah.
There's no exchange of CDs and going into a brick and mortar and buying music. Now it's streaming, where from what I've been told, people who even get damn near 1 million streams probably done pulled out about $1,000. If that. So
Yeah.
the music business is gone. So the deal is, it's about how you market your music and what you're doing. So you got to have a strategy of, okay, what your YouTube's looking like, what your engagement on the internet and social media. And then for the most part, as we already know, radio ain't going to play you. Only way radio is going to play your music in certain markets is when you have a major behind you who's in bed with the radio station. And then that's how that works. So I'm a hustler, so I'm for, hey, if you got to shoot a couple of dollars,
Yeah. So my thing is, here they doing it here, and I've seen it with my own eyes, and I do music as well. I'm with United Masters with my EP and stuff, but I had one on tour like a couple years ago. And so just for example, with my experience, pay almost $1,000 to go to Iowa and Indiana, and the crowd, there was no crowd. There was more of a crowd in Indiana and Gary, but in Iowa there were like maybe 5 people, and within those 5 people there were a couple of them were my cousins. So it wasn't really like, we didn't really see our money go anywhere. And then too,
wait, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. Where did you go?
We only went, you mean as far as the venue is concerned?
Mm-hmm.
So we went to Iowa. I can't even remember the name of the venue spot in Iowa.
And there was nobody there?
We were in Davenport.
You in Davenport, but I'm saying nobody was really at the venue, right?
Nope.
How many days were y'all down there?
We were only there for that one day, and then
that one day.
Yep.
So did you go to any other places to hand out your music or meet people?
No, we did not. That little performance was in the evening, so it wasn't nothing that we could have done. Now, we could have done that beforehand, before we got there, but it wasn't even a lot of people there.
All I'm saying is always maximize your opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't, when you met me,
yeah,
doing my show, I would interview from the janitor to the, to the host. You hear
Got it.
me? Because at the same time, what it is you never know. Being what my show is, you
Yeah.
never know who has an interesting story that
Yeah.
may just lead to other things. So all I'm saying is, if anybody, if I'm spending $1,000 and I'm in Iowa,
Yeah.
I'm in a grocery store. I'm in, hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing? Am I cool? Hey, I got a show tonight, or here's my CD. Hey, matter of fact, here goes a couple for free, man. Tap in with me. You know, it's a hustle
Yeah.
mentality, and it's in you, not on you, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is, if you're paying $40 to perform, man, maximize that. Go to everybody and create a relationship, because basically you could be the wackest rapper, and I'm being totally honest, man.
Yeah.
I done seen some of the most wackest rappers out there in the streets with every CD and T-shirt they can, and I couldn't even knock them for it, because it was like, it was people. It's the difference when there's people who have talent and they feel that certain things should just come to them. Hard work outbeats talent.
Yeah. That's true.
Those whack rappers were outworking talented rappers and MCs, because
Yeah.
they was out there, because they was like, okay, if I ain't that tight, but people gonna know who I am. They gonna get, you dig what I'm saying? And even if they
Right.
become a laughing stock, somebody laughing at you, but at the same time, man, I know who that is though. Oh, you heard of so and so? Oh, yeah, I know that. Yeah,
Yep.
you know. Yeah, well, do you know the dopest rapper who from Swan Street? Nah, I ain't never heard of him, but I know that work. I'm gonna be handing out them T-shirts on the corner. You feel me?
That is true. That is true. I'm learning something. Cause see, my thing is, I'm not really a music artist. I do music. I write music. But see, I'm really more so. I put that hustle into me being a podcast host, film director, and actress and stuff. So those are at the forefront. So I probably kind of like I really don't even put that effort into being a music artist, because that's not the first thing I tell people I am.
Yeah, so in the Bay Area where I'm from, right, we got what is called out the trunk. So out the trunk was selling your CDs out the trunk. Our city, our town, our Bay was the first to do that. So when you talk about E40, Too Short, especially
Yeah.
Too Short, E40, and Hammer, was some
Yeah.
of the first that was the ones that was taking their CDs and on the block, like, hey, check this out. Short was really one of the first, right? So
Yeah.
Too Short tell this funny story where he was like, before MC Hammer became MC Hammer, he said, you know, they used to be in the club and they'd be outside and they'd be like, man, who's this nigga pulling up with the limo with all the girls, everybody screaming and woo 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 woo.
Right.
I don't know. He say almost every other weekend or whatever they come, same dude pulling up limos, people screaming, all the girls and all that. Who is this? And they're like, oh, this dude named Hammer. And so it got to the point when he did do it again, sure, was like, oh, nigga, that's just Hammer. You know what I'm saying? But the deal was, Hammer knew he took that hustle and look what he turned it into. You feel me? So it's that hustle mentality of man, you know, hey, you know what, I got this product, man. You probably ain't never seen it like this, but I'm gonna sell water to a well, you
Right.
know, and you know, you're gonna like it very well. So it's maximize your opportunity. You got a show. I respect it, because it was like, all right, you was adamant about it, and it was like, this is what I got. You and your girl Chocolate. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what, man, they did me a solid. I'm gonna do them a solid, because it's about building relationships.
Absolutely. Yeah. I that's why I said you have to I try to encourage myself as well and others. Like, you gotta take a leap of faith, even if you feel like, oh, like, don't doubt yourself, I'm not gonna say nothing to this person because they may not say something. Sometimes, a lot of times, I push myself to network and talk and conversate with people and build a rapport with people. And it takes me somewhere I thought I would never thought I would. Like, I've gotten this far by opening up my mouth and just networking and building the connections that I have built over the years. So you're absolutely right. Like, actually hustling, talking, telling people what you do, sending out pitch decks. And I tell people all the time too, and myself, even if you feel like you're annoying somebody or bugging somebody, guess what? It don't even matter, because that's your drive, that's your passion. You want people to know who you are. So if it takes for somebody to be annoyed, like you said, or irritated, or be like, dang, who is this person? You're still getting that. You're getting those eyes on you. If people know your name, they're gonna know what you do. Word on.
And tread lightly. And you want to tread lightly with it, but I look at it too. Like, if you really have something to offer, like, for one thing, I'll say this: like, like Hollywood, for instance, right? For those who don't live there, which isn't a real place,
Yeah.
um, you will get a lot of yeah. Let's yeah, we're gonna work together. You get
Right.
a lot of that cap,
Mm-hmm.
cap over cap, man. And so, and I always, and I've had it happen to me. And so I'm saying all this just to say that I said I never wanted to be that. Now, if it's like, I ain't feeling you, I'm just like, yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see.
Up
Yeah,
front.
well, I can't make no promises, but it's like, but don't tell me we're gonna do something and then you gonna follow through, and then I call you and it ain't what it is, right? So it make me look at. So it's like some of your favorite actors. I see them like, man, you fake that fake ass, but it's like that's what make me a solid one, and I pride myself on that because if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. I was a little late just only because of the fact I thought you were on the West Coast.
Right. No, no,
Anybody that know
no.
me, I hate being late. I don't. That's a pet peeve of mine. I don't like being late
Yeah.
to nothing.
Yeah, no. I pride myself on that too. I told my sister, like, I've been planning this to go to the BT thing. I said, hey, I'm gonna get these tickets. We're gonna plan to get our flight. We're gonna plan to do this. We're gonna do this. We got an itinerary. Even here at home, I tell people I want to do this, that, and the third. I pride myself on that. And then when people that I work with, if they say they're gonna do something, I hold them to it. And then, especially with my first time work with them, they don't show up or they come on late or they don't communicate. Communication is one of my pet peeves too. So it's
Mhm.
like when people do that, I also look like, it's kind of a bad look. I might not be I might not be so eager to want to work with you because if you're pulling this now, if something else comes up that's important that we want to do together and you show up late, I mean, the show is still going to go on, but it's, you want to, communication is key. You want to communicate, even if you're not able to show up or be there on time, you want to at least communicate to that other person. You can't operate in this world without communication. And I'm trying to let people here know, and everywhere, all creatives to know, if you're an actor, film director, music artist, whatever, you have to communicate and read. I tell them here a lot, read. They sign contracts and don't even read and get themselves into a bind. Like, how do you feel about that? Let's touch on that about music artists or people, period, in general, just signing contracts and then getting stuck on them, and just tell people how important that is.
Perpetuity. If
Yeah.
anybody don't know what that's about and what that is, that's forever. And
Mm,
even when you're dead and gone, and
mm,
wherever you're going after life, they still own it.
mhm,
It's still theirs. So you get what you negotiate.
mhm,
You dig what I'm saying? So again, when I was in the music business specifically, there were things called mechanical rights and all these different things and all this language that
mhm.
was buried into a contract. And luckily, I had a stepdad who was in the music business, so he would pretty much direct me towards the right things. But um, at the same time, as a man, you just got to be on top of your business. And if you're not on top of your business, then what are you doing? You're bound to fail. So you negotiate, you get what you negotiate. I haven't seen what these new contracts are based on or what they look like based on. They got 360 deals now with artists. So if I'm a rap artist and I'm making commercials and doing movies, well, the record company gets some of that. That's
Right.
why it's a 360 deal, because of the fact they got to recoup their money somehow.
Mhm.
So when a record company is giving you, say, $10 million, that $10 million ain't for you to put in your pocket. It's a
Right.
budget for you and your getting into the studio, making the music, paying the producers, budget
Yep.
for marketing, travel, makeup, whatever it is, and then whatever else is left or whatever. And then it's basically a loan.
Right.
And if you don't make that loan back,
Oh my God.
you get
What
cut off
in
like
the
that.
heck is going on? Okay. Okay. All right. I'm back. You were
No,
saying if you
that was actually perfect. I said if you don't make that loan back, then you see
that's
how that cut off. See how it cut off.
yes, how I cut off like before. It cut off right at the purpose. That's what's so
You
happy.
in
So it
you in
cut.
debt for life. He cut you in debt for life.
Cut.
That's why you see artists that you never see again, never
Yeah.
hear from them again because they in debt.
Yeah.
And then and the worst thing is for fame, right? So these artists, I can't go get a regular job. I ain't gonna even put certain people out, but I just remember back in the day, back in the early '90s,
yeah.
I remember getting a summer job, and it was a particular rapper that I had known, we had all heard of, and where I'm from.
Yeah.
And when old boy was working with me in the warehouse, and I'm like, yo, what? I seen a couple of rappers that were 9 to 5, but as a young teenager, you didn't understand
Right.
what are
Why?
you doing in here, bruh? You were just on MTV. Why are you working here? One time I walked in and I thought, bro, who I'm not gonna say,
Yeah.
I thought he was doing a promo or something for a new album. Like, oh, he must be in here doing a meet and greet
Right.
and shaking hands. And old boy come up to me and was like, yeah, can I help you? And I'm like, ah, man, yo, what's the name of the album? He's like, no, can I help you?
Right.
Help me. Man, you sure did help me, man. I went back to the booth.
Oh well. I mean, look, people like some of your favorite music artists or people, period, they work 9 to 5s because they have to have some type of means to take care of their stuff.
Oh, I know. Yes, yes. No. I'm saying as a teenager back then,
Yeah.
rappers were superheroes. So you didn't
Oh,
understand how somebody who was just on MTV, the
work.
BET was working and pushing a broom. It didn't equate. It was like, how is that? You got women in the videos and
Right.
y'all, so you didn't understand that, and that's just, but that's Hollywood. Hollywood, the whole narrative to push is the dream of
Yeah.
being rich and this and that and all that. And people think just because you're on TV, you're rich.
No,
And that's not always the case.
it's not. It's not. I mean, I reverting back to what you were saying when, even it affected me. Remember when we were going through COVID? I was doing the shy, but during COVID, it kind of set a lot of us actors back because a lot of them didn't want us on set. So it kind of pushed us back, but it. I want to say it really didn't push. I'm gonna just speak for me. It didn't really push me back because it gave me time and opportunity to create and build my film company back in, when COVID was happening. So it didn't do nothing but help me like brainstorm, put ideas together, do Zooms a lot, network. I still was able to maneuver around during COVID. But for you during COVID, was it hard for you as an actor, or were you still moving and grooving and hustling like like you're known to do?
That's a perfect segue into a promotions of an independent film that I co-produced with my friend, my homeboy, my boy Jonas Brenneman, and
Okay.
Dana Check, and my man Anthony. Anthony, I'm sorry, I'm messing up your last name. God damn, Anthony.
Lord.
Yeah, man.
Uh-oh,
Good.
see?
If I can find it.
Uh-oh. It cleared it out all together. I'm going. Yeah, you look. I'm gonna reach out to the support team about this because this has never happened. But that gave you time to think about his last
Yes, sir.
name.
Hold on, yo. Hello. Hello.
Uh-oh, you still there?
Yo.
Okay, there we go. It's saying something about a firewall. This has never happened, so I want to reach out to tech support about this. But you were talking about a segue to your independent production in regards to what I was saying, right?
I'm sure. It's me. It's my energy. My energy is kind of all over the place. It kind of causes, technical difficulties sometimes. So don't even worry about it.
Oh my God, you got static coming through here because this ain't never happened. I'm definitely gonna reach out to tech support.
Yeah, you better ask them about me.
Yeah, that ain't never happened.
Yeah,
Oh, what were you saying? I was trying to listen in, then it cut out.
I love it. That's guy humor. No, so I had a project that we had been shooting called Disrupted. And so Disrupted, written and directed by a man by the name of Andre Welsh. We had that film Disrupted was going to theaters, and then it was disrupted by COVID. So I was heartbroken because I'm like, man, film finally, about to hit. So that didn't work out, but it ended up on all these different streaming platforms, right?
Yeah.
Amazon and Tubi and all these other different platforms. And so while at that time, during that, it really got bad. So I had roommates at the time.
Yeah.
And my boy, Jonas Brenneman, he's a writer-director. He came to me and was like, because the studios that we were at shut down. So he was like, man, we got all this time, man. Let's make a feature film. And I was like, man, are you crazy? What do you mean? I'm thinking he's talking about a short, but he was talking about a feature. I'm like, how we going to do that? And he said, you the one that told me anything possible.
Right.
I had to throw that in there because I throw that in his face all the time. And so he...
I don't know what's going on with Rivers.
Hilarious, bro. Oh my God. That's hilarious.
Lord, Riverside killing me today.
It's all good. Nah, it's good. You ready?
You still there?
It working? Nothing.
It's a bad connection. There we go. You was frozen for a second. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, you was frozen, but you're good. But we're gonna wrap this up after, but I want to finish hearing what you were saying. I'm sorry. Yeah,
no, it's good. No, it's good. I was just saying. So, buddy of mine, my boy, we were roommates at the time. Jonas Brenneman, he's a writer director. So he wrote a feature. Him and his partner Anthony, and his girlfriend Dana Schick. She's an actress. We all basically would just shoot. He would write. They would write one day, and we would shoot the next. The movie is called The Death of Us. You can find it on Tubi, Amazon, Xfinity, cable, on demand. It's on a lot of platforms. But what the film was basically about is two characters trapped in a home during COVID, and there's martial law in effect. And so if either one of our characters, if we stepped out the home, we would be shot and killed, by drones.
Yeah, it's just doing whatever it wants to do now.
What's up?
It's just doing whatever it wants to do now. You okay? So you were describing something to me like the purge. So if you leave out of the house, any one of you guys will get shot and killed.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, Mike. So it's 3 people that live in the house. Yo Nash's character, he plays a doctor and he has to go off to New York to fight COVID, or deal with patients with COVID. At the time, it was a different name for it. It's not COVID in the film. I think it's H19 or something like that. And so we were like brothers, like kind of raised together. And so it's his girlfriend and I are trapped in the house to left to fend for ourselves. And it's about us not trying to kill each other as well.
Right. That sounds amazing. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, it's called The Death of Us, and it's on Tubi, Amazon, whatever your vice is.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna check that out because I like movies. I like movies like that with that type of setting because I watch most of all the Purge, so that sounds dope. With the technical difficulties, because this is the first time this has ever happened on any of the podcasts that I've done.
I'm honored to be the first.
Yeah. I do appreciate you coming on here. I don't want it to keep cutting out on you. I am going to edit this podcast, and I want to thank you for coming on here. We're going to do another one because I always want to do a follow-up one, schedule a follow-up podcast with the people that I've interviewed before. I appreciate you dropping through here and dropping some gems. You even taught me a few things and encouraged me to hustle and put my music out there and find alternate resolutions to putting my name out there as a music artist, not just a film director and whatnot too. So I do appreciate.
Indeed, and I'll leave you with this. I tell I'm not being a Bible thumper, and I shouldn't have to preface, even giving a disclaimer. But in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 1 through 4 in the Bible, it says, "Write the vision down and make it plain, for he who reads it may run with it. Though it tarry, wait for it will surely speak and not lie." And so I say that because so many things that I can even go on a whole another hour about that I've written down, it came to pass because I wrote it down because of that scripture. So I always try to encourage and tell people, write your vision down, because it says my people perish for the lack of vision. So that vision that you have, that you think you're making a song or you think you're writing a movie, it's not yours. You're just a vessel. It's given to you to do something with it. And if you don't do something with it, then you will perish. And I'm not saying in the sense of perish if you're going to die, but that drive and that whatever else, it's going to perish and it's going to deal with you because of the fact you didn't do it. You ever get an idea and was going to do it and didn't, and somebody else did it?
Yep.
How that make you feel? That was God giving it to you. If you don't do it, if you don't do it, you're going to lose it. So I'll leave you with that.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much, because that is true. I've had that happen a lot. And I'll be like, dang, I should have did it. And that's why I say, right, exactly.
What I tell you about the pivot? I told you in my podcast, the pivot.
Yep. You pivoted.
And somebody else did it.
Yep. And that does happen. That happens in everyday life too. Like, oh man, shoulda, coulda, woulda. And I try to push myself to, if I think on it, it's like, oh man, I got this idea for a song and I'm thinking lyrics in my head. I'll hurry up and put it in my notes so I won't forget and take it.
Yeah.
So you're definitely right. I'm starting to do that more. I do want to let everybody know, or you can let everybody know, shall I say, where they can reach you on your platforms or how they can get in contact with you.
Yeah, so giving, I guess, a big shout out to the Pivot. I done said their name about 9 times, so they getting their free promotions from me. But you're now on set with Ahku Unscripted. Shout out to Green Light, Monica Jones. I am at I am Ahku, I am AHKU on Instagram, Ahku on Facebook, I am Ahku on TikTok? Yeah, tap in. And check out the show On Set with Ahku with your girl. She will be airing on. It's going to be on YouTube. We were going to take it to Tubi, but it appears that a lot more people felt after I did my poll with people pause that a lot more people know YouTube more so than they know not knocking Tubi because my movies is on Tubi, but
Right.
when you have certain folks and folks be like, oh, I never heard what's the Tubi? I've seen it around, but it's like, so I
Yeah.
say YouTube, everybody, oh yeah, YouTube, all right. So on set with Ahku Unscripted will be on YouTube. I have a page. It's on set with Ahku Unscripted on Instagram as well.
Okay. Okay. I'll make sure once we're done later on this evening, I'll go on your YouTube too, because I would love to see the whole entire thing, not just myself, but the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Definitely. We got like 5 episodes of some great interviews with some great people. I'm gonna keep it a thou wow. We shot this thing in June 16, 2024, man. And I was working on getting 10 episodes, and I didn't realize I was talking to my director, my DP, and I'm like, bro, I just looked at a date. I said, it's been a year since we put out any of this. I said, it's time. And so we're starting it off with an interview with my homegirl Taj and Stephen Brooks. They're directors, they're photographers, and they've worked with Wu-Tang Clan. So they were like Taj was a photographer for Wu-Tang for since like the 90s, doing a lot of work with them, and my boy Stephen Brooks as well. He did some within the 2000s. But my point is they did an art exhibit called Wutology. So we interviewed them and showed the exhibit, and then it's going to fade into the BET experience. So that's going to be the pilot episode.
Man, that's gonna be dope because I heard of Wutology and I like the Wu-Tang Clan. Did you watch the Wu-Tang series?
I seen one episode and thought it was dope, and I didn't get a chance to finish it though.
I love it. I love it. You gotta finish it. I gotta finish it. There's so many episodes, but it's good. It's really, really good.
Yeah. Hey, check out my show. One of the shows I worked on is called Nova Vita. You may like that one. I'm plugging Nova Vita.
Where's that? I watched that.
It's on Amazon Freevee. So it's a 10-part series. Nova Vita is basically about these 2 billionaires who they basically are into this Bitcoin, and one finds and they kind of get caught up in doing some illegal activities, and so Nova Vita, which means new life, an island where they will change your identity and make you a different person. But there's a twist to that whole what happens with the business partners going to Nova Vita. I don't want to give too much away, but somebody's identity gets changed, and
ends up
it's a mess, man.
To be, I see. I'm really, because see, that'd be great if you be able to change your identity, but then it's always going to be a cost to that. So I definitely want to see that.
Yes, indeed. I think you're going to like it.
Thank you so much for dropping gems and shining light coming through here. I want to give you a special shout out, and I appreciate your presence on our podcast Behind the Scenes. Thank you to everyone that's been listening. Besides the technical difficulties, this has been a awesome interview. We're going to interview you again and do a follow-up just to see how things are going in your journey. I want to thank you once again for joining on our podcast today. You guys have heard the N, the I, the T, the A, space K from Behind the Scenes right here in Chicago with Ahku. And I hope to talk to you guys soon. Goodbye.
Bye, buddy.